Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the last episode, we started case number 4, and we got to talk to Inspector Gregson, who has a very nice voice that I like. And in this episode, we are going to go visit the crime scene of, what seems to be a pretty tame case. From the start of it. It was just a woman who was stabbed in the street in the back. She's not dead though. She is alive and in the hospital. So we are going to the scene of the crime outdoors on Briar Road to see what's up. Oh man, giving me Leighton vibes with this. So this is where it happened. Briar Road. I love the detail, by the way. Ace Attorney has definitely come quite a long way. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close. Well, you might even get to talk to one. To a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Hee hee, of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. I gotta look forward to that. Hopefully it happens in the second game. They draw it out. We forget about it, and then case 5 of the second game we get to see her with the hat on. That'd be great. I don't see Inspector Gregson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing? Why should we sneak? I don't want to upset one of those bobbies and be butted on the head by one of those metal helmets. My skull would crack in two, I'm sure. Oh no! An English bobby would never do such a thing! This is a land of gentlemen, you know. Alright, I guess we'll examine... I want to examine the cart first. Oh! That's a Scotland Yard carriage! They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals! You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride in one of those through the streets of London. I don't think you want to be a criminal carted away in that. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it, wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No, I wasn't serious. That's funny. She's definitely got an air of Maya to her. I love it because Maya's my favorite character. Hee hee, what a delightful snowman. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. Looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf. Look. You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. Wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss this. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know. You're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my own neck, would it? It's covered in snow. One of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I've found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Alright, well, let's check over here. bike is interesting. Oh, a British bicycle. Look. Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that my occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. Any occupation, not my occupation. I don't know how I read that. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me. Have you? We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Yeah, you'll need an extra seat for that. What's this? That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Yeah, that seems like a little bit of an issue. What's this? Oh, look at the windows of that building there. Are you... Oh, wrong voice again. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. What was I looking at? I thought I saw something. Oh, just the street itself. There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed in all black. I worry coachmen might not see you, and you could be flattened by horses. I'll thank you for the rather small concern. Don't make fun of a man's height. Short king, baby. Even though I'm not short. Where in the world am I supposed to be looking? Okay, barricade. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? It's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oi! What are you foreigners doing here? Ah! Oh, just investigating. Conspiring with that mustached fella from Japan, are you? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an eye and go on. He shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. Well, I don't see that we can investigate the crime scene at the moment, so I'm gonna go ahead and move. Oh, we have to. Can I talk to this man still? That's one of the officers. Oh, okay, yeah. So, I guess we've said everything that we can here. I'm gonna go... I'm gonna move. So here we go. So these are British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here, but it's so dark at the back, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop by me at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat, as yet with no name? Calling me by a number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Are you a Japanese gentleman? Excuse me, but who? Shh! Quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening, even now. I can sense it. Right. So, could I ask you what it... There you are! You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it, you're a ghost! A ghost? This guy is definitely very paranoid. We mean you no harm. Harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance? This is beyond my wildest dreams. Well then. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, cinnamon tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. What in the world am I dealing with right now? Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to even read that part. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show! To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon! A first-class lawyer? Oh dear. Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why, you've been detained as a suspect, for example. Yes, I can, I will! Shan't say sullen and silent! Why is he doing, like... Do these count as, like, Ultraman Kamen Rider poses? Because that's what they remind me of. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume! Soseki Natsume! Alright. What are you studying? Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. quite something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias? That's right, Naruto-san. No, no, no! Don't be so prosaic! It's much more refined than that! And haiku? That really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale! Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No! I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No! What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. It seems like you're learning quite a bit of vocabulary. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washi! You must be a man of great standing. Oh, yes. So I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no. It's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse! The curse of London! It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient! So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. Okay. This guy is definitely a character. He reminds me a bit of Larry Butts. Though, he doesn't seem ridiculously dumb like Larry Butts was. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookstop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too? As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. He just keeps going with the accursed stuff. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a scream and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran. I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous! Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? I'm different. I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. Ace Attorney franchise never fails to come up with some really ridiculous caricatures. And they're all interesting in one way or another. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass by you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? Huh? What conundrum? Ooh, we're still going. Ooh. Sorry. Ugh. Yawning. What do you mean, Susato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit? Ah! You! What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Oh no. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. British. Brash. I said British. May you be cursed until the end of your days, Airlock Sholmes. He said, brash, big-headed, busybody, be gone. I knew it. Mr. Sholmes? Oh boy. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police, put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Airlock Sholmes. It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, film flammery. Flim-flammery. My God. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine? He's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Oh, You can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple mister is more than enough. Oh, yes, alright, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, I just had a thought. And I don't know why it took me this long to connect the dots, but the reason that nobody wants to defend anyone that Mr. Barak von Zeeks goes up against in court is because they all wind up dead, whether it be due to him or the prosecution himself or other means afterwards. So yeah, we're trying to figure out if this guy's going to be the next victim. Why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. Oh, a student? I've defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who is supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband! That's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire! It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. Oh, a keepsake? Oh, sorry about that. That's my food. I'll grab it after I finish. I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh? Who do you mean? The lawyers. All the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness. Why do you say that? For the same reasons as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Somebody not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. It's awful. They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Soseki-san, it's just that... Give me a little time, please. Huh? I'll do what I can, for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for. Alright. That's it. Visiting a cold, dark jail brings home the reality of crime and punishment. And yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. In the next episode, we're gonna go back to the scene of the crime and hopefully run into Mr. Sholmes. That'll be fun. But yeah. See you guys in the next episode when we continue, well, really start our investigation on the matter. Thank you.